Hello guys, it's me again, Vandolph Estrelado. What we're going to do today is we're going to, uncomment these. Whoa. But first, before we continue with this method over here, what we're going to do is we're going to fix something on our attack. We're making a mistake. Right over here. We are only going to attack if the target is alive. Otherwise, we're not going to do it. Okay, and super implementation, attack, right. And then we need to do the same thing for cute monster, attack right here. Right, because when they're dead, we were still attacking them, so that doesn't make any sense. Okay, now that we have that over with, what we're going to do is finish this thing over here. So then once we're done with this, we're going to well, let's finish this first. It should be really quick. Stamina cost. So case. I don't want to have to. I'm just gonna copy and paste this right over here. We said that spin's cost was 2, so stamina cost. So if spin, okay, fast shot has 1 stamina cost, and break it. What else has 1 stamina cost? That's really it, right? We said that super uppercut has 3 stamina cost. Sorry, 5. And what we're going to do is we said that so we're going to say spin has 3 stamina cost, maybe, as well as flying kick. One-two combo has a stamina cost of 2. Also a low middle kick. High kick is going to be like power shot, which is going to have a stamina cost of 2. Downward kick also. Now two-sided attack maybe should be over here, maybe? No, should be over here. The 1-2 combo and the low middle kick. How much damage are we doing for the low middle kick? Let's see. Control find. We're gonna go to our Nekko sprite, two-sided attack. We're doing 1 damage, so it should be 2. two-sided attack. What about high kick and power shot? Let's check it out. Control find high kick. That is 2 damage. So should be here. What about downward kick? Downward kick does 2 damage. What about two-side attack? Two-side attack should do what, like 3 damage. Super uppercut, if I can remember, does 5. No, 3 damage as well. Okay. So two-sided attack also does super uppercut. Uppercut should be here because I think, how much does uppercut do? Uppercut does 2 damage. Downward kick does what? Also 2 damage. What about round kick? I'm pretty sure round kick does 3. No, also 2. Why is uppercut in here? Okay, you know what? I want uppercut to have 3. I want flying kick, well, to have 2 and spin to have 2 because they attack more than once. But I want round kick to have 3. So spin. So uppercut and round kick should do 3 damage. Uppercut and round kick doing 3 damage. But now, let's make this 6 stamina cost. Two-sided attack and super uppercut should do like 4, say 5 damage. And I think low middle kick and 1-2 combo should be like fast shot. So low middle kick and 1-2 combo. I'll put it here. Now super uppercut should do 4 damage, as well as flying kick. Okay, now if stamina cost is less than, well, same thing. If stamina is greater than or equal to stamina cost, we're going to stamina minus equals stamina cost and return true. Else return false. Now, there is one thing we can fix. You see how when we have so many monsters, all of them are like growling at the same time? Well, what we're gonna do is put a limit. Okay, that guy fell off the map. Seriously. And I fell off the map too. Really, this slope thing is giving me a headache. Wonder what the solution might be. What might be the solution? We check if we hit a slope first. I really don't know. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, we'll take care of that later. But for now, I think that we shouldn't, for a cute monster, we shouldn't play the footsteps, or at least we we shouldn't play it, or at least we should only play it once. So what we're going to do is just only once. If walk index equals 1, then we're going to play it. The footstep, I mean. How much stamina am I giving to this guy? Oh, there you go. Well, this guy should be running out of stamina really quickly. Yeah, this guy shouldn't have any more stamina. One second, let me just... And I'm sorry I'm recording this, I just don't want to pause and kind of a hassle. One second, let me just... Alright, fine. I'm going to pause the video here and find out how I can fix this. Okay, I found a mistake. This is supposed to... After we set the combat state to idle, what we're supposed to do is return... There we go. Run history main. Well, you know what we can do? We can... Oh, I just fell off. Amazing. I didn't even do anything. This is very interesting. So it's like over there. I guess we can, if we fall off the... Okay, you know what? Okay, let's do this. Let's do this. Let's, Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. If on location, what we're gonna do is at the very end, over here, after we add on the dy, if the y is less than 0, which is the most bottom of our map, that means we fell off the world. And I guess it's a rough patch. I mean, it's what, you know, it's the only thing we can do right now so that they're not gonna fall forever. Yeah, so this is the only thing we can do at the moment until we find a better implementation of this platform detection. This is really it. Okay, so what we need to do in the beginning is we're going to save our origin x and origin, sorry, spawn x, spawn point, spawn x, and spawn y. And that's going to be equal to this, which we're never going to change. So spawn x equals x. We're just going to save the initial spawn locations. And what we're going to do is just say that, hey, so we're going to say y equal to spawn y. And yeah, I mean, it's a rough patch, but nonetheless it should work, and it should be somewhat acceptable for a free game. So this game will be free soon. Okay. Now you see when they clamp up, what we need to do here is in Cute Monster Sprite, or wherever we play that growl thing. Where do we play that growl? We play it here, right? Footstep, not footstep, but so control find growl. No, it's not here. No, it should be here. No, it's not. It's not here. It is in Cute Monster growl. There we go. What we're gonna do is for all of the cute monsters in the map, doesn't matter how many, and this is gonna be a rough fix. It's a little bit messy, but this is what we're gonna do. Private static last growl, if I can spell it correctly, time. Okay, it should be a long. And let's just set it equal to, well, it doesn't matter. So what we're going to do is they can only growl every 0.5 seconds. So if there's like 50 monsters stacked up at once, and they're all growling at the same time, not all of the sound will be played, because there is a limit to how many sound for the Android, how many sound pool objects can be played at once. So we want to avoid that limit. So what we're going to do here is if time utils.nanotime minus the last growl time is equal to half of a second, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, we're going to growl. Otherwise, we're not. Okay? And that should fix the issue. See, no matter how many are attacking us, only one is growling every half a second, which is good. So save some CPU or save the sound for some more important things. So there we have it. Okay, now let's actually use our the two things that we have on our HUD over here. So this, as we said before, this one is going to represent health, and this one is going to represent stamina. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into our HUD simple. And we're not gonna add, we're gonna, in our array of regions, we're gonna take out top left region and top right region. Yeah, we're gonna take it out, and because we took it out there, we also have to take out the base over here, the base rects, as well as in the right over here, and then we need to update them manually because we took them out. So for top right rect, is that what I call it? Dot, no, that's not what I called it. I called it top right. I just called it top right, really? Yeah, top left and top right. So top right dot x is equal to top right base dot x. Same thing. Here's top left. This thing is y. This is top left base, top right base, whoops, y. Okay, now the reason we did that was so we can do this. So we can change the batch color. So what we're going to do is we're going to batch dot set color. Now so it should be full red, 1.0f, and alpha should always be I'm not sure about alpha. No, alpha should always be 1.0. Now for the red-green values, this is going to represent how much health we have left, right? So we're going to calculate how much health our player has left. So this is health. And we're going to do the same thing for stamina. So we're going to say float. Say float C, whatever, I don't care. Float C, what we're going to say is that is going to be equal to our player dot health over player dot max health. So if the player's health is equal to maximum health, this should return a 1.0. But we don't want that. Or do we? Yeah, we do want that. So that's what we want. And make sure to make this a float as well as this. And then we're going to set C in here. And so we're going to batch.draw, not you. Oh, come on. It's going to be top left for the health. And top left dot x, y, width and height. Okay. And we're going to use this C. Same thing for stamina, except it should be the top right region. So control find left. We're going to replace with right. And instead of so stamina should be red, green, blue. Stamina, red, green, blue. Hold on one second. Let me just try and look up something real quickly. RGB color codes. I want something like yellowish, something like goldish or something like that. Sunny yellow. Sunny yellow is red and green. So it's kiwi right here. Okay, let's try full red and full green. Let's see what happens. Full red and full green. Full red and full green, 1.0f. Okay, so let's check it out. Run. Oh, and of course, yeah, that's right. Run history main. And what's going on over there? Okay, something's going on. On our update, are we really top right x, top right base dot x plus camera? Oh, here. Should be y. Okay. Run history main. Jeez, how much stamina do we have? I mean, we should be out of stamina by now. Oh no, that's our health. That's right. So we need to recompute C for stamina. Sorry about that. player.stamina. And I guess this is why our player has to be not an actor, but a Nekko. And so we're going to pass in a Nekko over here. And I know we keep changing these things, but hey, you know, you got to do what you got to do. So we're going to pass in a Nekko. You got to do what you got to do. I mean, rapid prototyping, you know. Our player is an actor, but let's just change it to Nekko. Okay? Alright. Now it's gone. Stamina over max stamina. Let's check it out. Now, how much stamina did we give ourselves in the beginning? Give ourselves 100 stamina. So you know what? Let's just change that to, instead of 100, let's just give ourselves 30 for testing purposes. And instead of 100 health, let's give ourselves also 30 health. Run history main. We should be out of stamina by now. Seriously. Yeah, we should definitely be out of stamina by now. We really should. So, what's going on? So, something is wrong in here, in our set combat state. So if not enough stamina, if our stamina is greater than or equal to stamina cost, stamina cost is 3, 2. So let's just debug this. gdx.app.log stamina and just print out stamina. How much stamina do we have left? 30. Interesting. We're not even subtracting the stamina. Oh yeah, we are. But we should be subtracting them for... We're only subtracting when we hit, which is weird. We're still executing even though we don't have any more stamina. That's... combat state equals combat idle. This is weird. Well, not weird. This is probably a logic error again. If not enough stamina, return true if we have enough stamina. Otherwise, return false. Where are we calling set combat state? On key down, okay. Set combat state, input down. And that's going to take us to here. But we override this, right? What is our player in here? It's an actor, but nonetheless. I mean, this should be returning false. So if false, then just return. Let's go here and see if we get to this point. Okay, this gotta stop. Keep falling up. And I'm still being able to execute the combat move. It's like it's not returning. It's not listening to me. Are we going here? That is weird. We're going in this function, but we're still executing the rest of the lines of code over here. That's messed up. What? Okay. Instead of return, what if we do this else? Just wrap this just to make sure, because this is ridiculous. Alright, this is ridiculous. What's going on? Alright, I'm just gonna debug this, guys, and I'll be back when I find the solution. Okay, yeah, I was just being stupid. Took me a second to figure it out, but if we go here, we're saying stamina cost equals 0. But most of the time, we're not here. So our combat state. So we need to pass in the combat state over here. In which case it's going to pass into combat. Now, but if combat, so I guess this shouldn't be here, but rather it should be here. So before we set our combat state, we need to make sure that we have enough stamina. Sorry about that. I'm always like this. After I work out, I just lose my brain. I can't think. Alright, now it should be good. Okay, now we can't do anything anymore, which is what we want. So how does our player refill their stamina and or health? So for now, you know what? Let's give our player about, let's give our player, say, only 10 health. Let's go back to HUD simple. So our player max health over, our player's health over max health, this should return full on. So I guess what's happening. Alright, so let's go to our player over here. Yeah. So if we go to our actor, we're not setting our health equal to the max health, which is stupid. There we go. Now if we run this, this should be returning 1. Health over max health should be returning 1. So run history main. Yeah, it's good. Okay, you know what? Instead of it gonna be like this, we're actually gonna say the inverse. So C is actually gonna be 1.0f minus this, and U2. So we start off with full color, and then when there's no more color, that means we're dead. Same goes for stamina. And now what we're gonna make our player do, we're gonna make our player touch these things to refill their health and stamina. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do. Now the monsters can also drop maybe food to restore stamina, and maybe, oh my god, that's gotta stop. Maybe a swipe, like do a swipe. Yeah. So that's what we're going to do. HUD simple on touchdown. What we're going to do is if top left dot contains, we're going to player dot health plus plus and then top right is stamina. Sorry, top right, stamina. And of course what we need to do is wrap this. We're going to add 1. So every time they touch down the top left, they're going to start refilling their health. Right, so it's like something that we can do with those two things. Okay, so what we can do, what else? Now, if player dot health is greater than or equal to player dot max health, sorry, if player plus plus max health, say player is equal to dot health equal to max health, so we don't allow the health to go over the max health. I don't believe we need a parentheses there. And we're just going to do the same thing for stamina. Whoa. I guess we do. I guess we do. Okay. Now we should so we're out of stamina. You know what? Let's not color black our player's color. Sure, let's say magenta for now. And we're going to give him 50 health. Start off with also 50 stamina. Now let's do, I might as well get the go to the Nekko sprite and set up the hurt animation loop. And yeah. So what's the hurt animation loop? Where is it? It is this one over here. Right over here. Okay, so all right. So how many do we need? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then 5, 6, 7. So we need 7 animation. It's going to be 7 animation frames for hurt, and we need a hurt index. So let's do hurt. We need 4 of them. Sorry, did I say 4? I meant 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. the array size is going to be 7. So in here, hurt equals new atlas region array of size 7. And put it over here, hurt I equals atlas.find region. I don't have the hurt animation loop yet, but I'll program it in first and then put it in the texture atlas. Nekko hurt. Okay, and then on let's see, how did we do it for cute monster sprite? We did it on knockback, right? No, it was on dying. Right, okay. Let's take a look on dying at cute monster. Sorry, I mean on death. Open super implementation. So I guess this shouldn't be a should just be a protected. It shouldn't be abstract at all. Should it be? No. So we're just going to go back to our cute monster. And we're just going to put it over there. So that was our cute monster. I'm just going to put it over here. So that our Nekko has it by default. So, okay. So we have cute monster here. Right, no. Nekko sprite, it shouldn't be hurt, but rather dying. It should be dying. Sorry, hurt and then dying here. Whole word, place all. And now we have another one, hurt, which is going to be of size 2, just like cute monster. And we're going to initialize it over here, so hurt 0 is equal to atlas.find region, sorry, yeah, hurt. Nekko hurt 1. It's going to be Nekko hurt 2. Okay. Now on our update, what we're going to do is in here on switch, in here we said that switch status state, or rather in cute monster we said that if we're on knockback, we're not even good. Our texture is going to be, we're going to be forced to skip the combat state. But in here, we're not going to do that. In our Nekko sprite, we can, if we're knocked back, we can still attack. But we're only going to show the hurt animation frames if we're not attacking and we're knocked back. So it's actually going to be in here. Before the, so the knockback takes priority over the vertical motion state. So even if we jump, but we're knocked back, we're going to display the hurt animation frames. Okay, and then this should be switching on the and also this for cute monster sprite. All we need to do is copy and paste this over here as well, so that it trickles down to switch horizontal motion state, which is over here, which we have case knockback, which we're just going to copy and paste. And there we have it. Also for our switch status state is also going to take priority above all. So we need to create this method, and let's just copy and paste this as a matter of fact, because it's going to be the same thing. Just Nekko. We don't have the dying index yet. We're going to do it though. Okay, so yeah, clean it up, and I'm gonna need to pack these into the texture atlas. Once I'm done there, I'll be right back. Okay guys, I've packed them in. They are now in the texture atlas, so let's check it out. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so for the desktop, what we're going to do is so let's go onto our, so we don't have to click for the desktop version. Let's go onto our HUD. No, sorry, HUD input processor. And on key down, in order to restore, it's going to be ZX. So it's going to be Z X to restore our, and we're just going to do what we did for HUD simple right over here. What? Oh, so I guess for this one we need another, it's supposed to be Nekko, so we have access to that variable. I mean, we could cast the object into a Nekko. You know, I know how to cast objects. Damn simple, but it's, I heard it's pretty expensive, so you don't want to do that unless you have to. And in here we don't have to, we just avoided it by doing what we just did. Let's run it, stream main. Now we can play fully via the keyboard. Oh, you saw that? We just... it's getting annoying. I see that. Oh my goodness. It checks that... Oh my god, they're gonna exploit this. I'm pretty sure of it. They're gonna exploit this. The players, I mean. So what does that mean? I think that means we need to We need to slow down our speed. And I guess that's really the only solution. So what we're going to do is go to our KF Nekko over here. And the speed that we're going to give our player is, I guess, the max X speed should be not 8 but 7. And then we're going to need to go to our HUD and make sure that the max X speed does not exceed 7, what we give it, I mean. So acceleration is 1.5 times 5. It's going to be what? 5, 2.5, 7.5. Okay. So we're just going to clip that. So if acceleration is greater than 7.0 f, right? We're going to set our max X speed equal to 7.0 f. Equals negative XL is less than negative here. Alright. Let's see if this fixes the problem. These damn slopes, I hate them. Get out of my way. Yeah, now we shouldn't fall anymore. Okay. But our game is a little bit slower. I don't like that. I guess what's happening was, because we're going down, then once we pass the edge of the slope, we're no longer in a slope, but our dy is already past the platform. I guess that's what's happening. Whatever. Come on, fall. I know you can fall. Well, they can try, but I think we just patched it up. Like, that is the problem, the amount of DX. Oh, we can still fall. We can still fall. Damn it. What can we do, though? One second, let me just pause the video here. Oh man, our game would be so much simpler without the slopes. Anyways, let's go on to our map piece generator, and we're just gonna patch it up. I guess that's the only thing we can do with the way we're implementing this. So it's gonna be in here, the platform number 2. We're gonna need, no, it's gonna be in here. The slope, first slope, second x coordinate, let's say 165. So 15 above, 15 to the right of 150, which is 165. And slope number 2, let's see, this is a 361, should be 15 to the left of that. So 351 minus 5, which is 346. Okay, let me just confirm that it doesn't, that we don't fall off anymore. No, we still fall off, and yeah, we still fall off. This is really interesting. This is really interesting. You know, so we're gonna control Z what we did in the map piece generator, because now it just looks bad. Okay, so I think what we should do in our location class or platform class is see how we have some padding over here for the slope detection offset. Well, what if we add some offset to our platform as well, right? So I think that would work. Would it? No, yes, I think that would work. So let's horizontal detection offset. And it's okay if you don't know what I'm doing right now, because, well, I'm the one that's made this system up, so it might not make any sense to you, but that's okay. So horizontal detection offset, what I'm going to do is say 23. I'm going to use that in our platform detection. Hit platform, direction down, our initial Y value, say plus this. Okay. Now I'm gonna check it out, see if it works. Yep, I confirmed that it works. And if you don't know why it's doing that, should I even try explaining why? You know what? Yeah, I should explain to you what we just did, because this is very crucial. This is platform detection, one of the annoying things about a platformer. I mean, if you're implementing slopes. Hate slopes, hate slopes, hate slopes. Okay, so what was happening was, remember we have in that bridge we had a horizontal platform, and the way we're implementing is that our slope intersected with this bridge, right? So what was happening was, when we were jumping down, when we were falling down, this is what's happening. And remember, our slope detection actually occurs over our slope. We're actually detecting slope at this y location, and we're detecting now. What we did was added an offset, and now we're detecting the horizontal platforms at about this location, this y offset, this y value. Okay, but let me just show you what was going on before. Before, we were detecting the platform detection was using this y value, the feet. And what we're doing was, when we were falling at this point with a certain dx and dy, we hit a platform, right? So yeah, okay, we detected that yes, we hit a platform. Properly here. Slope detection offset. So if our sorry, I am explaining it wrong. Okay. You know what? Let me try and explain this again. Forget what I said before, all right? What's going to happen is this is going to be our initial y. Oh, no, you can't see it. And now this is going to be our final y. Now, remember what we were doing to check. So this is both for platform detection. Sorry, we're going to check for, this is going to be for slope detection. This is how our slope detection works, right? We say in our slope detection, we check if our final y, our initial y has to be above the slope, and then our final y has to be below the slope. We get our final y by adding the change in y, the y velocity, in the initial y. And we're saying that, okay, if our initial y is above the slope and our final y is below the slope, we're going to say that, hey, we hit a slope. So we're going to offset our cat, our actor, such that its feet is touching the slope. So that's what was going on, right? Now the problem that was leading us to fall through is this. So at this point, we're going to say that, okay, our initial y is above the slope, and then add the dy and then the dx. If our dy is fast enough, and it is fast enough, and our dx is also fast enough, what's going to happen is, sorry, my voice is cracking. What's going to happen is that this is what's going to happen. right? We're no longer in a slope. And do you notice anything now? The y value, this, that we use for our horizontal platform detection, is now below the horizontal platform, meaning we're going to pass through. We're just going to fall through that. But what if we use this y value to detect for horizontal platforms instead? Then that thing is not going to happen anymore, right? So if the same thing occurs, now even though our feet is below the platform, if we use this value, y value, instead to detect and this y value is going to be our initial y for the horizontal platform detection offset detection, then we're going to be above the platform, and once we add the dy and the dx, we're going to say, hey, we had a platform. But now now that fixes it to a certain extent. But the pitfall is that, and the downside to this implementation is that if we have a platform, a suspended platform right over here, right, and say that we're walking, right? And what's going to happen is if we jump and we barely make it, right? Then if this is our maximum jump height and then we start going down, all of a sudden we hit a platform, even though the feet didn't really touch the platform. So that's going to be a nuisance, right? Because we jump and then we're not supposed to hit the platform, but because of this offset, we're going to hit the platform. And we're going to be forced to offset our player in there. But it happens in an instant, but it happens one frame in 50 in a 1 frame out of 50 in 1 second. So it happens 1/50th of a second, but nonetheless it happens. And the same thing for our slope detection, and our slope detection is even worse, because check this out. Oh, come on. If we have a slope over here and say that we're going to jump, right? And then this is what's going to happen. Even though we're not supposed to make the slope over here, guess what? We made the slope. And once we cross this, when we say, oh, we hit the slope, all of a sudden, our actor is going to be offset. All of a sudden, our actor is going to be transported over here on top. So even though we're not supposed to we weren't supposed to have been able to detect the platform because, well, our feet is over here, we still detected it, and as a matter of fact, we're going to offset our cat there. So that's going to be a constraint. This means that at most, well, really what this means is that we cannot have suspended platforms. That's really what it means. We cannot have suspended platforms. We can't do it. So that's we can't. So that's going to be one of our constraints. We can't have a map piece that has a suspended platform like this, or just plain out horizontal platform like this. Well, unless we lower the values of our offsets, and I think that's what we should do. So yeah, our system is limited. Why? Because we're not using tiled. I don't know how tiled does it. I really should look into the documentation how they. I'm pretty sure maybe they use rectangles, box 2D, because box 2D does it pretty. Wait, box 2D has slopes, right? I mean, how does Sonic do it? Ugh! This is frustrating me. Anyways, our implementation is flawed. So our implementation, I mean my implementation of a platform detection is very much flawed. So let me just try and say slope detection offset should also be the same way. Now you see that? Look. Never mind. Okay, anyways, this fixes it. Now we can't fall anymore. Okay. But it's gonna look a little bit, it's gonna look wrong a little bit. Okay, so I guess we should only have one detection offset. So let's just call it detection offset, since they're going to be the same anyways. Okay, and then we use it here and in here. So I guess we're going to work with that flaw. We're just going to work with it. Hey, you know, it's a price to pay. Okay, now that we have that over with, let's move on to our splash screens, finally. So in here, in our KF Nekko, in our, instead of view loading, what we're going to do is view splash. And then we have another one. View menu. After the splash comes the menu. Okay, and then we're going to create a class to handle the view splash. But for now, I'm going to take a little bit of I'm going to take a little break, and I'll come back once I'm ready. Case view splash. I mean, so at least we know the limitations and restrictions of our system. So we're not naive about it. We know that it's flawed. Our platform detection, that is. Collision detection. Ugh. Once I find a better algorithm that can detect platform and slopes, well, just slopes really, because that's what we're having trouble with, that'll replace it right away. But for now, no. That's all we have. View splash, view, what was the other one? View menu. And so next time we're going to do view splash. Okay, I'll be right back. Hello guys. I did a couple of things. If we go onto our location, I just removed this check on update. When we're in state knockback, I found that there's really no reason to have this check. We can be knocked back even if we're on a slope. So let's remove that. meaning we also meaning meaning we also need to remove this. Sorry, I can't speak right now because. And then we need to go down to our on knockback and remove this check again. And then now the game should be a little bit smoother. Now what we're going to do is there's still one more thing that we need to fix. When we're stepping, yeah, go to our Nekko sprite, and what we're going to do is I was testing it a lot a couple of minutes ago, and I found that the flying kick does way too much damage. It basically one-shots enemies. So the flying kick does not do 4 damage, it does 2 damage. Okay, let's not go crazy. And so we're going to need to change the stamina cost back at our Nekko over here. So flying kick stamina cost is still 3. Or actually, I think it should be 4. All right. Okay, so what we're going to do now is on our Nekko sprite, step forward is creating some problems for us. Right here. What we need to do is we're not going to step forward if so we're going to do this. If Nekko dot location, sorry, kf Nekko dot map dot on platform dot, it's going to be relatively expensive, but we need this. If we're not going to step forward if we're currently on a platform, so if we're on a platform dot on platform and this returns false. So yeah, we're only going to step forward if we're currently on a platform and we stay on a platform. If that made any sense. Also with the slope. So this step, damn, I'm sorry. My voice is breaking. Alright, this step forward. Let's remove the slope as well. No, actually we need the slope. We're not going to be able to step forward when on our slope. So should we do the slope as well? I'm thinking. Because that would require us to basically update our location with a certain speed. Location.update location. You know what? I think that would be calling the update location would be a lot better. For example, update location. No, I think step forward. I think this is better. I think just calling the Nekko.location.update. So we're just going to update our location. And I think that's good enough. And what we're going to do before we do this is we're going to set our speed by that amount. So Nekko dot location dot dot speed dot x speed equals amount. Going backwards. Why? No, we're not going backwards. 1 second, let me just kill all of these assholes over here. Just punch. I'm stepping forward. What's wrong? One second, I'm just trying to debug this. Oh, what's that? Okay, so the problem is occurring when we're on a slope. Hold on, let me just fix this. Alright, so we need to make sure that our x direction is equal to alright, now it should work. Okay, it works. All we need to do now is on step forward. This is the only one. Let's see, where else is it? Two-sided attack, step forward. Instead of 10, what we're going to do for two-sided attack is step forward at 16, and then we should be good enough. And for all those that have 12, so no, let's try it. Let's try this for now. See what happens. Okay, it works. Okay, that's good enough. What about for the kicks though? I want a lot of movement for the kicks. Yeah, that's good. Alright, now let's move on to the splash screens. And yeah, as I said, we were going to create a class. I'm going to call it public static. It doesn't need to be public static, but do it anyways for consistency. So public static splash, or rather not splash, but rather we're going to put the splash screen in the menu screen class. So menu screen, I'm just going to call it or rather intro screen. So intro intro screen, intro, and we're going to create this class. So we're just going to create it over here. Why not? And it's going to implement updatable. It's going to implement drawable and also disposable. All right. So actually, we're not going to have a view splash. We're just going to have a view intro. The intro screen is going to take care of the rest. So it's either going to be view intro or view game. So view intro. And in here, what we're going to need to do is you know what? We're going to split the update and render. So it's going to be on update, and this is where going to be render is. So in here, we're going to switch the view. And then another one here. So on the render method, sorry, draw. And this is an update. And this won't have the draw. Now we're doing this so that we can put this outside right here. Okay. Should still work the same way. So in our intro screen, all we're going to do is, no, as a matter of fact, should I also set it to camera.combine or just use projection? Yeah, I might as well just as well set it to camera.combined. So in here, outside, I'm going to draw here is batch.setColor. Make sure it's color dot white. For full color. No, not actually. No, never mind. We're gonna let our intro take care of that. And of course, insert our intro to the disposables list. Oh, and we're not going to insert the intro into the drawables list. We're just going to insert the intro into the disposables list, because the intro is going to have another texture atlas of its own. So, and yeah, intro.draw and then intro.update in here. And then we're good. So the intro screen is going to have a private texture atlas. I call it atlas. Copy and paste in here. Sorry. Dot dispose. And let's just move this method over here. And let's create a constructor. and we're going to initialize it after we initialize the resource. Now in our resource class, we're going to add a bitmap font. So forget this. We have our audio class for sound and music, but we are going to add a bitmap font. We're going to say bitmap font, and we need two. I'm going to have a chunk 5 bitmap font and an Arial. And what we're going to do is make sure that the resource, okay, it is. Now, let's go back to our intro screen. What we're going to do is private. Oh, and this is also going to be, should it be touchable? Should it be touchable? Yeah. This is going to need to be touchable. So let's bring it up here. And now if we go on to our, so this intro screen is actually going to need to be initialized after the HUD. So intro equals new intro screen. And I know it's getting messy, but I really don't have a choice. I have 4 game modes planned in here, so I need to create 4 maps, and I need to do it before midnight tomorrow, so that it's going to be ready by the 25th. So I'm really going to have to work fast. I'm really going to have to work blazing fast. Okay. So we're going to have our intro screen. We're going to have a private what are we going to have? Okay, while I'm trying to remember, let's go to our HUD, or as a matter of fact, resource. No, let's go to our HUD first. So open up our HUD, and what we're going to do is, or rather the HUD input processor. Sorry about that, I'm just not thinking properly at the moment. On touch down. So we're going to switch here. Switch on KF Nekko dot view. Now case, I'm just going to return false here. Case view game, this is what we're going to return. Else it's going to be view intro. So kf Nekko dot intro dot on touchdown. And that is it. For our resource, what we're going to do is say that Arial is equal to a new bitmap font, and this will give us an Arial 15 font, which is what we want. Which is pretty awesome. And for our chunk 5 equals new bitmap font. But before we can do this, we need to have the chunk 5 first. So I've already downloaded the chunk 5 font. I downloaded the OTF from the League of Movable Types. So it's in here. And I must include the SIL Open Font License. Yeah, it's under the SIL Open Font license. What I need to do is put it in my attribution. So the SIL Open Font license is right here. Let me just put it over here. This is in our Nekko attribution, by the way. And chunk5.otf. Now, I don't know about the compatibility of the SIL Open Font license with the Apache 2.0 license or the CC licenses, but hey, I'm going to use it anyways. I mean, I read it, but I just don't know the compatibility with the CC licenses. Okay, so what we're going to do with the chunk 5 and the chunk 5 OTF is, well, first of all, let's put the SIL Open Font license in our assets, and we're going to create a new folder actually. Folder licenses, license. We're just going to put Nekko attribution there, and the SIL Open Font license in there. And then we're also going to put the, might as well download the Apache license 2.0. Can I get a let's download the txt file. We're going to name this code license. So this is the license for our code. Yes, I'll be licensing it under Apache version 2.0, and I've decided that the assets will be CC by 3.0 SA, simply because those are the two licenses that LibGDX uses, so I thought that I should use the same ones. So here's the code license. We're going to save it. Now I'm not entirely sure what the Apache 2.0 is, but I know that LibGDX uses it, so we're going to use it too. And now we have our code license, put it in there. So we have a code license, and we're also going to have our assets. Well, this is our assets license. We're just going to rename it to assets license or licenses. Okay, and now we're going to create a new folder here. New folder, call it fonts. Now we can't just use chunk 5 OTF right away. What we're going to need to do is we're going to download the Hyro, or however you want to pronounce it, from LibGDX, and that'll generate a bitmap font for us. So go over here in the, see the licenses right here? Code license and content license. So in the wiki, we're going to go to Developer's Guide and go to Tools, and we're going to go use Hyro. Really cool tool. Where's the downloadable one? It saves in Angel code format, which can be a bit blah, blah. I want to download it. Can I download it? Here. I guess and we're gonna save it. Well, you don't need to save it, you can just run it right away. It's a really cool jar file, by the way, JNLP. Okay, now we have it. Let's run the JNLP. And I do trust LibGDX. I trust that they don't have anything sketchy going on. So I actually have a Chunk5 OTF in my systems folder, and that's what you can either choose the systems folder or you can choose a specific file. But I have the Chunk5 OTF in my systems folder, so I already have it selected here. What I'm going to do is I want to add a gradient. And I want the top to be completely white and the bottom to be a little bit gray. And you'll understand why. Or this gray. Okay. And we're going to add an outline. Or actually, we're going to add the outline first. And then we're going to add the gradients. So it looks better. There we go. As for the offsets, no offsets. This is good enough. So what should be the size? Should be italic? No. Bold? No. What should the size be? Well, let's go on, head over to our to GIMP, and let's check out what size we should use. Now our screen, our resolution is 480 by 320. So let's see what looks right. And we're going to name our title. Let's change this to Chunk5. And we're going to name our title. The title is going to be KungFu Nekko. We're going to put it right over there. Does that look right? Or do I want text to be a little bit bigger? I have to choose wisely because okay. I think 28 font should do it, or even 32. I think 32 should do it. Okay, so yeah, don't save it, and size 32 should do it. And what we're going to do is just file, save Hario. And we're going to name it Chunk5, or rather cancel that. We're going to save it right here. We're going to save it as chunk5.fnt. And now it generated. Now this is going to be converted to a texture, so you have to be careful when using a bitmap font because it is considered a texture switch. If you're going to draw a sprite and then draw a font, draw a letter or number using the font. And what we're going to do is just put this in our fonts folder. And now we're ready to use it. But first, let's just clean it up. So the way we're going to use it is we're going to create a new bitmap font, and there's different constructors. What we want is the one that has uh, the one that has this right here, or rather, not that constructor, but which constructor was it? It was the font and image. No, not this. Which constructor was it? I'm trying to find out which constructor we have to use. Public bitmap font. Not that. Not that. Not the texture region. Nope. This one. We need this one. So we need a font file, and we need the image file, and is it flipped? Okay. So we need the font file. Okay, GDX dot files dot internal, and the font file is named as it's in the fonts folder, and it's named as chunk5 dot fnt. And the PNG image so fonts slash chunk5 dot png, and false for no flip. Okay, and make sure that we dispose of this. Also chunk5 on dispose. Alright, so we're done with our resource. Okay, and here we need to have a private integer. And what we're going to do is we're going to have two views. So private static final integer view splash and view view menu, and we also have a final view where they're going to choose their game, what kind of a game mode they're going to play at. View selection in view, and we're just going to say that view is equal to view splash. What? Oh. Okay. Now let's forget about on touchdown for now. Let's do on update first, because that's what's interesting. So what I want to do is switch on the view. In case we're in view splash, view menu, view selection. Now what we're going to do and we're going to do the same thing in here in draw method. Also on touchdown, just return false otherwise. Okay. So on update, what we're going to do is display a splash screen first. What are we going to display? Well, I want to display this because I want to put my game, my other project, Heroes of a Lost World, in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this as whole.png. Okay, and this uses the chunk 5, by the way. And I guess since I think that circle is the sword and the circle is CC0, but I don't want to take any chances. So let me just check the licenses on these things. Okay, you know what? I figured that, forget it. Yeah, we should just forget it. Forget the, should we even just have, or should just, should we even have a texture atlas for our own, is what I'm trying to say. Should we even, should I even include this? I think they'll just get confused if I add this in. So you know what? Screw it. And we're not going to have another texture unless, you know, let me find the resource online that we can use for our menu. Okay, this looks like a good. This looks like a good GUI. So what we're gonna do is SVG. Well, let's see what this is. Or rather, just GUI. Let's see what YD has in store for us. What's wrong? It didn't open. Okay. Uh-oh. Um. Well, that didn't work out. Yes. Oh. Well, that doesn't work. Let me browse around for this. This doesn't work. So I'm just gonna blah 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 blah. I'm sorry. I'm losing my ability to speak English. I was saying, let me just browse around online at OpenGameArt and see what I can find. Okay, I found some really good sound effects for menu selections. It's by Loki. And wow, he's got CC0 on it. So I guess I'm just gonna take it. But of course we're gonna give him credit anyways, just because we're awesome like that. It was assets, licenses.txt over here. It is Android assets. That's right. So we're just gonna put the link over here. Okay. What else do we have? Okay, you know what? We're just gonna have a placeholder. So let's just test this out. go to our KF Nekko. Make sure that we're setting our view to view intro. Okay. And now what we're going to need to do is, oh, and actually, since we're going to do this, what we're going to do is we're not going to create the map in here, not in here. So let's just comment this out. Not in KF Nekko. We're going to do it in the intro screen. And what about the background? And you know what? Just so that it looks better, yeah, let's just do it there. So go to our background and just remove this. And we're just going to put it here just to, because why not? Alright, for view splash, let's just say that we're going to need a couple of floats here. Or rather, just a color. So private color, color. Let's say 0.0f, or just say color.white, or clear. Okay. So what we're going to do now is, in our view splash, rather draw, so we're going to say batch dot begin, batch dot set color, to our color. And what we're going to do is just display KF Nekko dot font. Oh, we don't have it yet. Okay. Sorry, I mean resource. The fonts are in our resource. Dot chunk 5. And we're going to draw. Plug the batch in here, and car sequence. We don't want to be doing this because, believe it or not, this will create garbage, so we don't want that. I mean, allocate new space in the heap. I didn't think so either, but I mean, from my experience, it does. You can always check using the heap checker. I'm not sure, but I'm not going to take any chances, so what I'm going to do is just create some finals in here. So private static final string whole equals heroes well, whole, and then productions, or why not string array? Let it be an array. Strings. And you can even load it up using save the strings and load it up on runtime by using JSON or text files and parsing it yourself or whatever. But again, rapid prototyping, I don't have a lot of time to do that right now. So whatever works. Sorry about that. I'm sorry for the yawn. So chunk5.draw, so strings 0. Where are we going to draw it? Or rather, you know what? Let this be a car sequence array. If I can spell it properly. And you know what? There's absolutely no reason that this needs to be. No, never mind. Never mind. Okay, you know, I always wonder, since we're not gonna create more than one intro screen at a time, then there's really no need for this to be static. Just say just final. Oh, fine, just put it static, but I don't like it. It doesn't look good, you know? I mean, if I'm going to do this, I might as well just put static here as well. Oh, whatever. I'm just always worrying about trifle things. Anyways, we need a text-bound array. Corresponding to the strings. Okay, I've never done this before, but well, let's do it now. I've never worked with text bounds before, but I guess I might as well learn it now. Bounds equals new, I guess, text bounds array, and we're gonna plug in the size of our strings. And so for int I equals 0, I less than bounds dot length. I'm going to say the bounds I is equal to kfnekko.resource.chunk5 dot get bounds What about get multi-line bound? Returns the size of the specific string which may contain new lines. The height is the distance from interesting. Well, let's just start off with the most basic one. And what we're going to do is just strings I. So now we have the bounds. I guess string 0 and kfnekko.camera dot x dot position dot x minus the bounds 0 dot width times 0.5f So we're going to draw this in the middle and a little bit above, but the same idea applies, I guess. Don't blame me if I make a mistake here. This is my first time doing this. Height times productions. This should be maybe at 0.4 and this should be at maybe 0.6, and then batch.set color to the world color. No, not even, just say batch.end actually. No. Okay, let's see what happens. Run history main. Oh, and we don't want to play the music just yet. So let's go to our audio right here. We are not going to play the music just yet. So because of that, we're going to set this to public. But we are going to set the music to looping though. But we're just not going to play it. Okay, let's see what happens here. Run history main. And we get a null pointer exception. Oh, because our map wasn't initialized. Right. So I guess the background is going to need to be initialized as well. Okay. And what? Okay. Why is it like shaking? What? Why is it shaking? Yeah, it's shaking for some reason. Maybe because we're multiplying it some... Okay, well, let's see what happens if we don't do this. Maybe that's the reason why it's shaky. It's shaking for some reason. Now it's not shaking anymore. So it's shaking because of this? I wonder why. So we have our bounds 0, and this should be at the center. Sorry, now it should be at the center. There we go. For some reason it was shaking before. And it should be above, so maybe 7. Okay. Alright, and then we're going to say Howl Productions. I'm going to draw another one. Strings 1. bounds 1, 1. And it's still going to be at the center. However, it's going to be at 4 here. So whole productions. Interesting. What? Get bounds of productions. Bounds 1 dot width times position. Oh, sorry. I'm guessing we need to subtract less because we're at the center. So position Y plus, this needs to be plus, say, position Y plus, you know what, I'm just going to add a constant, I don't care. Plus 50.0f, I don't care right now. And you're going to be, oh no, it should be right above plus the bounds 1 dot height. So make sure that it's above this. Okay. You know, I'm wondering why it's not working the way I want it to work. I mean, whole is supposed to be in the center. One second. Okay, here, check this out. This is in the this is centered. This is not. Why is that happening? If we add this in, it suddenly becomes not centered for some reason. Like, what the hell? Ugh. Damn it. Okay, I found the problem. The problem was that we're storing the text bounds. Now the text bounds are objects, and we're storing references of those objects in this text bounds array. And what's happening in the draw method is that if we take a look, it somehow modifies the text bounds. And it says that the same text bounds instance is used for all methods that return text bounds. So I guess that's why things weren't aligning properly. So what we're gonna do? What I'm gonna do is, instead of this, what I'm gonna do is just instead of storing the text bounds, which is gonna get modified in some way by the draw call. Not sure if this is right or not, but let's hope this is right. I'm just going to store a float array. Widths, I'm going to widths. So widths is equal to new float array. Widths I dot width. And let's see if this works. So we're going to set the color of the chunk 5, not the batch, to our color. we're going to draw. String of strings 0. camera.position x minus widths 0 times 0.5f As for the height, it should be camera.position dot y plus, I don't know, 1 plus 50. Let's do the same thing for except this except this time it's this string and it's this width. Position is minus. Now we could save the heights as well, but I don't feel like it. And we're not drawing anything at all. Wonderful. Oh, duh, hello, we set our color to clear. Let's set it to white. Okay. So, Heroes of a Lost World Productions. I guess plus 50, and this is going to be just y. And maybe plus. And I know this is bad, this is absolute coordinates, which is not the way it's supposed to be. But hey, I'm out of time, I don't have time to figure out the I don't have time to do all that multiplication so that it's not absolute position, so that it's always relative to the width of our orthographic camera. But this is good enough for now. So what we're going to do is first we're going to set our color to clear. And then on our update, what we're going to do is we're also going to have a phase right here. So phase. And we're going to set our phase to 0. So we're going to switch on our phase. Now case our phase is 0. And you can create enums or whatever you want for this one, or static final integers, but I'm just going to do this. Break it. Case 1. Break it. So what we're going to do is we're going to say color dot r. What is this? Adds the given color to this color. What other methods do we have? Maybe we have something like set r. Right. We can just use this. Oh, you know what? Screw it. Color.r plus equals I don't know, 0.01f, and we're going to do the same thing for all of them because we're starting at 0. Now once if color.r is greater than 1.0f, we're just going to set all of this equal to 1.0f. Okay, and we're gonna set our phase equal to phase 1. Now once we're at phase 1, we're just gonna subtract our color here. And maybe we should, no, forget it. Now once we're less than, and I know it's so messy right now, I can do so much better than this, but look, I'm strapped for time. Now we're gonna set the phase back to 0. This is very important. And we're gonna set the view. So view is now equal to view menu. Now let's check it out. Awesome fade. And instead of that's too slow. Let's say 3 instead. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to have, I guess, 3 phases. I'm going to have another case 2 phase. And all we're going to do here is if we're going to wait maybe 2 seconds, if time utils dot nanotime minus, and we're going to start phase end time is equal to time utils dot nanotime. So minus phase end time, I want to stay here, show HAL productions for 2 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're just going to set our phase end time to nanotime. And we're finally going to set our phase equal to phase 2. Let's just create this long. Again, this is very messy. I just don't have the time right now to make it neat. There we go. And you know what? Let's create a private method for this. Let's say update the splash. So this thing doesn't get crowded. And let's put this, because we're done with it, let's put this over here, all the way at the bottom, even below this pose. And then here, all we're going to do is really, that's it. In our view menu, we have either play or credits. You know what? We should have a sound or something. Like a sound, sound effect. Let me scavenge one. Okay, guys, I found a really cool transition thing. Transition sound effect. Listen to this. This is crazy. This is insane. That's insane. We're gonna make use of this. We are gonna make use of this. Okay, so what I have is this introcision and I'm going to put it in the sounds folder. Now, we're not going to put that audio in the audio class, simply because it's only going to be used once, and it's going to be in here. So we're just going to put it here. So private sound, intro sound, intro scission. I know it's kind of all over the place, but I mean, this thing is only going to be used once, so might as well put it in here and dispose of it right away. Okay, so intro scission is going to be equal to a new GDX dot audio dot new sound GDX files dot internal. It's going to be sound. It is sounds, right? No S. Sound slash intro scission dot mp3. Okay. And what we're going to do here is just we're going to play it right away. So let's see what happens. Right, I need to clean the project first, obviously. That's not good enough though. That is not good enough. So for the speed, what we're going to do is right over here, instead of 3, we're going to put 2. Run history main. And I guess instead of just that, what we're going to do is we're going to spell out H-O-A-L-W. So it's going to be spelled out little by little. So instead of strings 0 in here, we're going to say, okay, you know what? I'm going to create a class just for this. I'm going to put it in, where am I going to put it? I'm just going to say package dot, I don't know, cancel that. It should be in UI, maybe? Yeah, I think this intro should be in UI, but let's put it in a new package called maybe extras, or yeah, extras, whatever. I really don't know. I don't know. I'm not really very good with packaging names, naming packages. And I'm sorry guys, I'm getting tired. It's 1:34 a.m. Anyway, I'm just gonna call this a I'm gonna call it a string typer, which doesn't make any sense at all. So it's gonna be an updatable. We're going to take in public string typer. We're going to take in a car sequence. Call it the string. We're going to take in the long type delay. Okay. And since everything is single threaded, never mind. Yeah, no, since everything is single, forget it, forget it. I'm just gonna get a private string builder. We'll call it builder. I was gonna make it static, but which is pretty safe because this is everything in here is single threaded. But whatever, just I don't care. Equals new string builder with a car sequence string initially. No, with nothing initially. Okay? And make sure that it's... So what we're going to do an update is... So we have this string, right? Private car sequence string. And of course, private long type delay. Obviously, you know the story with this. Okay, so on update, what we're going to do and we're going to need this method. We're going to call it public car sequence get string get typed string, and then we're just going to return the current state of the builder. Builder dot, just return the builder actually. And it's okay because the builder implements car sequence. Well, just trust me, it implements character sequence, the builder does. So we can return it because, well, it is a car sequence. Just like if we were to say public updatable get me, we can just return this, right? Because we implement updatable, so we can return ourself, and we're going to be an updatable object. We learn something new every day. I actually just learned that. You know, we learn something new every day, and I learn and have fun at the same time. That's why I love game development. I love it so much. So, okay. If time utils dot nanotime minus the last type time is greater than the type delay, we're going to say that standard stuff here. Last type time equals time utils dot nanotime. And what we're going to do, and we're also going to need this boolean, public boolean finished return builder dot size length equals string dot length. And all we're going to do here is, oh, and we need a public integer. We're going to call it str index, and we're just going to set the str index equal to 0. So, and might as well public private, you know what, just say public finished boolean finished, which should be false initially. And if not yet finished, what we're going to do is, if it's not yet finished, we're going to add to our builder dot append. We're going to append the string dot car at string index. Okay? All right. Otherwise, it is finished. So, and when do we know it's finished? So string index plus plus. We know it's finished if, so finished equals string index equals string index equals the string dot length. Okay, now we're going to use this string typer in our, forget the background for now, in our intro screen, and we're going to say, hey, we're going to have a private string typer. We're going to call it typer. And in here, we're going to say typer equals new string typer. We need the strings 0 and a delay of maybe every 0.2 seconds, which is 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Import this, and on splash we're going to update our typer.update, or rather, no, never mind, we're going to be updating our splash, and instead of string 0, we're going to get typer dot get typed string, and in here what we're going to do is let's say typer dot update. Now actually, let's go to our typer dot update. We're only going to do this if not finished. I don't see the reason why to calculate that. There we go. If not finished, we're going to do this, and might as well put this in here as well. Okay, let's check it out. Okay. Maybe that's a little too fast. About 0.1. What? Come on. That's way too fast. Okay, you know what? Every 0.01 seconds, okay? What about now, huh? Oh, that's even worse. I meant to say every half a second. Sorry, my bad. Every half a second, that's when we're going to do it. Okay, no. No. Every 3.3 seconds, we're going to add it up. Is that good? You know what? We should add an initial delay. No, 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 no. History main. I feel like there should be something like moving zing, like a line. You know what I'm saying? Oh no, like we should draw a shape or something like that. Yeah, you know what I'm gonna do? Uh, for more extra effects, I'm gonna have a shape renderer in here. Private shape renderer. I'm so crazy about the damn splash screen. Shape. I just shape renderer. There we go. We're gonna say that shape equals new shape renderer, and we're gonna render a shape here. Before this is done. So what we're going to do is shape dot begin shape type dot should it be a filled rectangle or just a rectangle, not a filled rectangle? So it should be a rectangle, I think. Now we can create a class for this. But no, I'm just going to do it like this. I don't care if it's messy right now. I just want to get this done. So shape. Things are going to get really messy, but it's going to be good. Dot draw. Sorry, filled rectangle. And it's going to start out at camera dot position, or just camera dot rect dot x. The y value is going to start out at our it should be, you know what, I'm going to create a rectangle for this, and we're going to put it on update method. What this is going to be, it's going to be well, first it's just called shape.n before we forget. And of course on dispose, shape.dispose. I'm just going to call this splash rect dot x, splash rect dot y dot width, and dot height. Now we need to create this splash rectangle. I know it's getting messy right now, but getting organized to me is just a hassle. And besides, everything is contained with this intro screen, so it's not too bad doing some scripting. And then let's go to update. What we're going to do is we're going to say that's splash rect dot. Oh, first we need to on our initialize. We're in our intro screen, by the way. We're going to say kf Nekko dot, or rather, no, never mind. We're just going to use the set method. Splashrec dot set camera dot position dot y. The width is going to be splash rect dot width plus 5.0f. Okay. Let's see what happens here. Oh, and the height we want to set to position y minus splash rect dot height times 0.5f. So in here we're just going to set the height equal to 10.0f. Let's see what happens. And of course, shape dot set color dot white. Let's check it out. Okay, faster. And instead of 4, make it 16. Instead of 10, make it, I don't know, 4. Run history main. Okay. Calm down, Vandolph. Calm down. Okay, we're gonna move productions downwards a little bit. Position y minus 5.0f. And are we getting the no, it's a little bit too fast. 16 is a little bit too fast. So maybe 13. Still too fast. Make it 10. Oh, and then we're also going to set the scale. So what happens if we like set the scale? Scale? Maybe. What if it's 2.0f? Is it still at the center? No, it's not. Never mind. I had something in mind there, but now on phase 2, what we're gonna do on here actually is the height, splashrec dot height. We're just gonna set to plus equals 4.0f or 10.0f. And of course, we need to modify the splashrec dot y because of that. Because we changed the height. camera position Y. This. Alright, let's check it out. A little bit faster. It's got to be. Now in here, what we're going to do is if phase equals 2, we're going to set the shape dot set color to color, else white. All right, and for the so it's going to have to be like 20. Okay. Now we got something going there. Let's try it again, because it's awesome. Is that good? I don't know if it's cheesy or something like that. I think it's too cheesy. That's what I think. I think it's too cheesy. I don't know. I don't know. I just, is it too cheesy? Is it too cheesy? Maybe it's just too cheesy. I don't know. Maybe it's not. Maybe it shouldn't be white. Oh, I know what's going on. I know what's going on. Shut up. I'm gonna try instead of. And you guys can skip this video. This is not even important. I don't know. Let's see that again. I don't think it looks quite right. I'm not sure. That looks. I don't know. I don't know what to feel about that. You know what? I think in here on update slash over here, I think we should set the and over here there should be A. Should definitely be A. In here as well. Not R, but A. And we're going to delete this. And in here, if is less than 0.0f, we're just going to set this equal to 0.0f. We're going to do the same thing for the others. What I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to go and do this here. And now let's see what happens. No, I don't think this is. No, it doesn't look right. It doesn't look right. It should be RGB. And I guess instead of this color, what we're gonna do is set color but not set color, but set alpha. Can I set alpha? No, I guess not, but I guess we'll just be forced to do this. Color.r, or rather full white. Still gonna be full white. We're gonna do color.a. Now let me try this out. Oh yeah. Yep. Yeah, that looks good. I mean, that looks better. And maybe I should move the not just fade away. Yeah, okay. I'm sorry guys, I'm just going crazy over this splash screen because, you know, it's the first thing that the player sees. The splash screen can make or break the game. The alpha though, the alpha is color.a. If phase equals 2, then we're subtracting the alpha. And if it's less than 0, phase equals 0, and I guess we gotta set color.alpha to 0. But no, that shouldn't be it. This should work. I don't know why it's not working. Huh. Well, what if it's 0. I don't know, 4F? Okay. What about 0.01? Will it make any difference? No. No, it won't. Okay, so I guess this is the way it's gonna have to be. Color dot A, and there's gonna be minus color dot A. We can't just use color dot A because the RGB components are already being decremented. Huh? Why is that happening? So this is gonna go down as well as these. So this should work. I don't know why it's not working properly. Eh? Damn it. Damn it. I can't just set it to color. I'll only pause the video here. Oh yeah, I'm sorry about that. I was being stupid. Just say color.a in here, because that's really all we need. Alright. Now Yep. Okay, that looks better. I think I'll stick to this. I think this is it. I think this is good enough. Okay, but maybe instead of 10, or rather instead of 20, maybe 15 should do it. Yeah, and you know what? Let's make sure that the whole screen doesn't go white. So first, we're gonna draw it afterwards. Um, we're gonna set the here shape dot set color dot black, and we're gonna draw two filled rectangles to make it like widescreen. And it's gonna be at the top, so the bottom first. So splash rect. No, not Y, but rather say KF Nekko dot view. Sorry, settings dot view. Or nah, screw it. Just say 40. See what's up, right? So it's at height 40, or rather, remember, yeah, because everything, we're still in the loading screen. I mean, we haven't moved the camera anywhere. So yeah, is that what it means? Because we are updating. No, we're not updating our camera yet. So this is good, meaning we haven't moved our camera, so we don't need to worry about where the camera is at the moment. So in here we can say that KF Nekko dot settings dot view height minus 40.0f from the X to the KF Nekko dot settings dot view width. The height, oh, Y value, sorry, starts at 0.0f, and the height is at 40.0f. This is also 40.0f, and the width is again the view width. All right, let's try this. It should be widescreen. History main. Great. Awesome. Okay, so that means I can, instead of 15, we can just say 10, and that'll still be good. All right. Should I put like open game art or whatever? Nah. Maybe we should. Maybe we probably should. Okay, at this point I'm just recording. At this point I'm just recording this. Cause 8 should be good enough. Or even 6 should be good enough. And I guess it should be, no, screw it. Let's do 4. And in here it shouldn't be 40. It should be 60, and in here too. So minus 60, right over there. A little bit more, make it 70. Okay, and then we are in our view menu. I spent so much time on that. Oh man. Okay, well, I guess we can go say update update menu. Man, the stupid things that I do just for a stupid splash screen. I don't know. I don't know. Oh, because I'm OCD, I'm gonna do this. Because I'm OCD. All right. Okay. What else we got? What else we got over here? What else can we do? What else can we do with this? Maybe is this okay? Like, I'm not sure if this is okay. Okay, what I'm gonna do is just one more touch up, and then I promise that is it. Instead of subtracting 3, just subtract 2. All right. Yep, that looks better. Okay, and then we're gonna fade in. So view menu, what are we gonna draw in the view menu? Oh, we're gonna need a bunch of rectangles because we gotta know where they touched. So I'm just gonna put it over here. Oh, I'll just put it over, why not? Splash rect, I need a play rectangle. And credits rect. Now I guess I could just say init rect. Forget it. Fine, do it here. Also for the credit rect. This is so messy, oh my goodness. This is so messy. Okay, play rect is going to be, it's not going to be moving, so it's just going to be camera. It doesn't really matter because the camera, again, is just at its original position. So We could just say play rect is going to be. Oh, we need two things here. So play and credits. Now in our widths, we're going to use that again. So play rect is going to be, the X position is going to be kf Nekko. Again, it doesn't even matter because we can use the camera or the we can use the camera or the but you know what, let's just use the camera for reference. How many settings do we have here? Fine, let's just use the camera then. No. Let's just use the settings. It's all about reference points, by the way. Settings dot view width half, so it should be at the center because again the camera hasn't moved an inch yet. Minus the widths. Uh, 0, 1, 2 times 0.5f. Okay, and then we're going to say at height, view height half plus, where are we drawing the hole? We're drawing the hole at plus 30. With the width of let's just add some padding to this. So instead of just widths, what we're going to do is add in some padding, and we're going to say plus 20.0f maybe, then half of that. The height is going to be I don't know, I'm just gonna guess 50.0f. I don't know, I really don't know. What? Okay, this is the width, then we have the height. Oh, and we still need the width. This is the height. We need a width of okay. Credits rectangle is going to it's just going to be the play rectangle. No, sorry. Should be widths 3 plus 20, and it should be minus 5. Three And what we're going to do here is just set shape dot begin shape type dot maybe just a rectangle, and it's going to be a white rectangle. Yeah, okay, rectangle. And then shape dot set not a box, but oh wow, we can rotate. I didn't know. I didn't know we can rotate. Oh, we can even translate the shape. Awesome. Nice. Okay, sure. I had no idea that we could rotate. Gives me a lot of ideas. No, that really gives me a lot of ideas, actually. Anyways, I think can't we set the line width of our rectangle? I just want a rectangle. Oh no, we do have a width and height. No, we don't. And this is gonna be the play rect.x width and height and shape dot end. Also, our instead of play, it's gonna be credits. Let's take a look at what happens. Okay. We need to set the color, shape dot set color, color dot white. Okay. It's not perfect, but it's okay. What we're gonna do is we're just gonna set the width to, where we are to maybe at 40. And again, these are absolute coordinates, so we cannot change our orthographic camera's dimensions. Excuse me. Oh, excuse me. Maybe at 140. Oh. Too much. 100. Okay, maybe bring the play button down a little bit. You know what, before we do that, we're just gonna draw we're gonna set the color to color dot white, and what we're gonna do is it's gonna be string play is 0, 1, 2. It's gonna be 3 for credits, and where we're gonna do it, it's gonna be a camera position X minus widths 2. What? Oh, sorry, strings. It should be 3, and y should be at playrect dot y plus maybe 2.0f. Same thing for you, except credits rect. So messy right now. Okay, what? Whoa, what? The Y position for the topmost capital letters in the front. The Y position for the topmost top. Oh, for the top. So, oh, geez. So it should be credits. I never knew. I never knew. Height minus 2.0f. Let's try this. Okay, that doesn't work out. Maybe minus 6 should do it. Should look right. And we're just gonna the height of our rectangles. We're gonna change it. Instead of 50, I think we only need 30 at most. I need some buttons, really. I need some textured buttons, but okay, let's set it to 35 height. I'm so OCD. This looks okay, right? Okay, for now, because I want to be able to play my game, I need a new map and new background. And what we're gonna do is this is just gonna be temporary. I just want to play my game before I go to sleep. In case we're in our view menu, which we are, if play rect dot contains x and y, we're gonna go to kf Nekko dot view equals kf Nekko dot view game. This is not what's gonna happen, but I just want to play before I go to bed, so I'm just putting that there as a placeholder. As a matter of fact, to do change, because that shouldn't be it. Because we're going to have different game modes and different maps. But for now, what we're going to do is, what else is there? I want to play the music. This guy's an idiot. What are you doing, dude? There you go. Okay, anyway guys, I'll see you tomorrow.